So we're going to present the next topic, which is on the next generation interactive toys that engage and delight children. And it comes from this very popular, famous Italian manufacturer of chocolates. It's called Ferrero. And we're talking about their range of Kinder Joy toys, right? So the topic is about, how can we incorporate technology into the next generation of Kinder Joy toys? And our speaker is Mr. King Chu. He's an innovation specialist at the Singapore Innovation Center of Ferrero. And he has over 10 years of industry experience in technology innovation, product development, and project management. And at Ferrero, Kane is part of an international team responsible for scouting emerging or disruptive technologies for new product development, right? And I believe that he's looking for really cool technologies to incorporate into the next generation of Kinder Joy toys. As you know, Ferrero Group is, it's the third biggest worldwide group in the chocolate confectionery market, and it has more than 40,000 employees right around the globe, and they are in 55 countries with 25 production plants around the world. And Ferrero products are sold in more than 170 countries. It's just about across the entire world. Kane, are you ready to present on your very exciting challenge, Kane?
Yes, I am, Billy. Can you hear me well?
Nice to see you again. Looking forward to, yes, I can see our slide right now. So take it away, Kane. Looking forward to Q&A with you later.
Thanks, Billy. Thanks again for the introduction. I think you've almost covered one of my slides, but yes, hello everyone. A very good afternoon to one and all. Today I'm very excited to share with everybody our vision to shape the future of our Kinder toys. So just a very quick background, Ferrero. The company started off as a family business back in 1946, and it has since grown to one of the top 3 chocolate confectionery in the world. And with over 40,000 employees, in more than 100 countries, and obviously our products are sold worldwide. Just want to highlight 4 of our most major and most popular brands that I'm sure is that you are familiar with. Kinder, which is the brand that I'm representing today. Then we have Rocher, which needs no introduction. Nutella, which is our first product from the company. And last but not least, Tic Tac, right? One of the very popular mint candy that I'm sure you have tried before. Okay, moving forward. Well, earlier on we talked about our 4 major brands. So now I want to take one step further, talk about what we say, talk about the definition of product. Because at Ferrero, we take a very holistic view when we talk about product. For us, a product must encompass many different facets, right, as shown in the slide in front of you, right? It's not just about the recipe, it's not just about technology, but the quality of the raw materials, the packaging, and even the visual itself. Everything must be taken in totality in order for us to launch a new product. And it's with such a definition in mind that in 2017, Ferrero set up the first Asia Pacific innovation right here in Singapore. In fact, our office is just at Science Park. Right? We have a fully functional laboratory, and where we are able to do experiments, we are able to try out new recipes, new products. Here at the innovation centers, we are broken down into different functional teams. Right? The first team is the raw material team, where they look into new ingredients that can go into new products. Then we have a fully functional lab, as mentioned, and the lab does exclusive R&D in the area of new products, new recipes, new flavors, for example. And we also have a team that looks into customer trend, right? Because in Asia, in all over the world, the consumer trends in food are changing every day. And here in Asia, we know that there is an emphasis on more healthy snacks and low sugar content. And that's the area that our colleagues do research in. And last but not least, the team I'm in, Open Innovation, we look into emerging technology as well as material that could one day be incorporated into our new products. Now, here at the Innovation Center, we have 3 very big strategic goals. Right? We talked about the open innovation earlier. So here we mentioned we like to classify as breakthrough innovation. So what do we mean by breakthrough innovation? It means that it's a technology or material that that's not yet out in the market. So it's still in development phase. And so this oftentimes involve doing collaboration with institutes of higher learning or research facilities, right? Other than the products that you are familiar with, as we mentioned earlier, chocolates, right? Here we also have a very interesting mandate, and that's the team that I'm representing. So it's about new toys, right? New toy generation. So you might ask me, so why and why is it about the toys, right? Kinder is actually a global benchmark for toys and licensing. Why is that so? Because each year we sold more than 3 billion chocolate eggs, right? Kinder Joy, Kinder Surprise. So that actually makes us the #1 toy producer in terms of units sold around the world. That also means that we are able to leverage our strength to have multiple partnership and relationship with many interesting companies around the world in order to come up with new toys, right? And all the names in the diagram probably need no introduction: Disney, Universal, DreamWorks, even Nintendo. So we run collaboration with them in order to come up new and interesting toys. Our big mandate for the Innovation Center for our team is this: how can we create the next generation of smart toys that will help our children to learn and grow? And it's with this in mind that we have our OIP problem statement, right? And I'll just read it out for everyone's benefit. So how can we enrich the play experience of our Kinder toys by incorporating either new technologies or new material to generate audio sound electronically, and so as to pipe the curiosity and encourage imagination of young children. Now, to put it in a more concrete sort of use case, this is a photo of a child playing with a Kinder Surprise. So the difference between a Kinder Surprise and Kinder Joy is that the Kinder Surprise has a chocolate eggshell with a capsule inside, whereas the newer version of Kinder Joy that you find in the supermarkets, this consists of 2 plastic halves where the toy and the chocolate are fully separated. Now in this use case, after opening the chocolate egg, we want the child to be surprised by an interactive audio toy that is able to engage him and help him to learn and grow, with new functionalities. Now, I'd like to talk a bit more about the context, about what we are looking for. Now, this context is a broad one. So for all the toys that we develop, this context applies, right? So any new function that we develop should embody our Kinder Play values, which are imagination, socializing, as well as learning. And in terms of the criteria of our toys, our target age group is actually between 4 to 7 years old. So it's a pretty young group. And because they are young, so we need the toy to be a bit more intuitive, that requires very little instruction, so that the child should be able to understand and play with it immediately. Now, obviously, our product is called Kinder Surprise and Kinder Joy, and that the toy should inspire the same effect. Now, what is size impression, right? As you can see, the capsule itself is very small, and hence, for a young child, it could be difficult for him or her to manipulate the toy. So we're always looking for ways where we could expand the size of the toys, even by putting multiple parts inside or using flexible material. And last but not least, we hope to achieve a multi-layer play experience. That means that the toy should serve more than one function, right? It should not just be a simple figurine, but it should also have creative ways for the child to play with. Here, the context is a bit more specific to the problem statement for OIP. We are looking at new and novel materials that we could incorporate into toys or to make new toys. We are looking into new technologies such as piezo, such as tribal technologies and functions that could generate new playability. In terms of dimension, obviously it needs to fit within the constraint of our packaging. Cost, well, Kinder Joy and Kinder Surprise is sold at retails at around $2 in the supermarket. So in terms of the cost price, it should be comparable and compatible in terms of in order that we can sell it at the same price. And we take a very serious view of safety. So every toy goes through safety certification as part of our international accreditation. And EN71 is the European standard that we follow and we comply with. Now, to be even more specific, what are we looking for, right? As part of this challenge, we hope to receive a submission that could give us a prototype solution, one that is able to generate audio sound in an indoor environment of at least 60 cm. So at least the child will be able to hear it when he's playing with it, either on the sofa, on the floor. And it should consume low current at a low voltage, 2-volt DC, because this does require a power source, and that's something that we are addressing separately outside of the scope of this project. Obviously, the audio module itself should be able to fit inside our existing toys and into our packaging. Ideally, the solution should be scalable industrially, again, at a price that is compatible with our existing selling price. And last but not least, again, I want to stress that all the materials that goes into our toys are 100% safe and non-toxic, and we intend to stay that way for the future. What's the need for you? So other than just the prize money of $25,000, you obviously also gain access to IMDA's resources. You also gain access to our design team and expertise that will help you in creating the new toy. But last but not least, more importantly, we are looking for a technology provider or vendor who is interested, who can one day become a co-developer or even a supplier for us in order to commercialize this new toy solution. And with that, I've come to the end of my presentation, and I'll leave you with sort of our motto, which is the way of kinderness, imagination, socializing, and learning. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Keen, for a very exciting presentation. I just loved it. It's such a cool concept. All right, we have questions from the floor, so allow us to just dive into the questions. Keen, are you ready for it? Okay, let's just start with the first one. The first one I think comes from somebody who's very, very interested in this challenge and has very specific questions. Okay, I think they are in a couple of parts, so let's do the first part. Ferrero, can you talk more about the current trends in your industry and what unique consumer need do you think having the electronic audio soundtrack can fill in this current marketplace? Wow, very tough business-oriented question. Ken, what can you say about this?
Yes, and yes, I'll try and unpack and answer that within like a 1 minute situation. So, all right, the broad trend is such that the way of playing has changed dramatically in the past decade. In the past, growing up, we only had physical toys, but today, kids. In fact, the toy that the child has when he's growing up is actually a mobile phone. It's no longer a physical toy. So what it means that they are very exposed to digital technology and electronics. That translates to a much shorter attention span. What that means for the toy industry in general is that we need to find new and innovative ways in order to engage the child, because as mentioned in the slide, right, the core values remains that we want to help the child to learn and grow, right? And this will never change, right? We want to fire out their imagination. We want them to socialize with other kids, not just always staring at their mobile devices, and we want them to learn. So this remains the trend, and what's different is how can we do that with new technology, new materials. I hope that sort of answer the first part. Is there a second part to it?
Basically, the question is asking, why do you think having electronic audio sounds will fill the marketplace will fill the need in this marketplace?
Okay. Well, so without giving everything away, it's actually part of our broader strategy as mentioned in the earlier slide. So we are trying to develop the next generation of smart toys. So and to put it concretely, smart toys are toys that we feel can be interactive for the child. So the vision is that we want to have a toy that the child can interact with and help the child to learn about different things. And we feel that audio is a new area that is fairly neat, that we have never gone into before, right? To have an audio toy, imagine the toy is an animal. Imagine the animal can make different sound like a bird singing or a cat meowing. All this helps the child to be more connected to nature and learn about the environment around them.
Very good point. Okay, we start to dive into the other parts of this question. Next one will be, how do you usually decide what to offer in this marketplace?
I find that questions are very broad and not so, okay. How do I... Billy, can you just repeat the question real quick?
Yeah. It's basically it says, how do you usually decide what to offer in this marketplace? So I guess it's probably how Ferrero decides, what to offer to fulfill the needs in the marketplace. Yeah.
Clear. Right. So obviously, in-house we do have teams that look into what the consumer wants. In this case, every year we do conduct focus group with the parents and kids in order to understand the kids that expect them. Every year we launch more than 300 to 400 new toys. And before the toys are launched, they actually go through this focus group. And in a sense that allows the child to signal to us what are the toys that they like, that excites them, and that will then feed back into our design and planning for next season of toys.
Okay, I believe this comes from a competitor. So they also want to know how you do customer segmentation. I suppose it's the same thing. You do your research, you do your R&D and so on. Okay, I'd like to move on to other questions. I hope this questioner is happy to answer so far. We can move on to another question from Rachel. And Rachel says, what are the new technologies that Ferrero has tried but it did not work?
Okay. Tough question. Well, I wouldn't say that the technology cannot work, but let me share within the context of the OIP, so that will help the other participants as well. So earlier we talked about the context, right? Two contexts that we need to be concerned about. Well, these are broad contexts for all toys, but specifically, our constraint has always been the dimension as well as the cost, right? Dimension is very much determined by the packaging, and cost becomes a very big constraint. So most of the time, the gatekeeping of the technology is not so much whether it can achieve the function, but whether can we find an innovative way to sort of package the technology or to develop technology to a level that is compatible with our cost structure, because we are selling it as a toy inside a chocolate and not as a toy itself. So that's the reason why you find our product in the supermarket and not inside Toys R Us.
Okay, understand. So you need to fulfill your key considerations, right? So it's not just the technology, but you also must fulfill the key consideration. Okay, that was a tough question there from Rachel. Thank you, Rachel. Okay, next, another tougher question from Tian Yun. And Tian Yun is saying, we interviewed a few parents, and surprisingly, all of them expressed great dislike for toys with sound. And so, so what other reasons for kinder to want a toy with audio? Wow, Kane, I don't know if you can answer this, or should we take it offline?
Yes, of course we can.
Yes,
I think, of course, I think it's very important to sort of understand the context of why parents, on two parts, right? You're right. So there's the child that likes certain things, and there are parents that are also the gatekeeper, right? Because the kids will not be buying our toys. They are the one pestering the parent to buy the toys. We all know that, right? We have gone through that phase. Now, in terms of what the parent and the child like or dislike, now I understand that there are certain toys that the parents, such as ourselves, may feel is irritating, right? And that could stem from the fact that the audio effect or the visual effect could be too loud, too jarring. But in our case, we are very clear that the purpose of the audio sound is not a loud one, but rather is to surprise the child. Right? Imagine you open up a toy, it's an animal, it's a cat or dog, and that's one of our products we have. Now, if the dog is able to bark or the cat is able to meow, and that is able to generate that surprise for the child that we hope will not be irritating for the parent, right? So because this is not a very big toy and it doesn't use big batteries or lithium, so it doesn't generate that kind hopefully not the kind of noise that would cause parents to be put off.
Okay, that's a very diplomatic answer there from Keen. Thank you, Keen. Good answer there. Okay, well, more business questions now. This comes from Singbio. It says $2 is the retail price of the entire product, but what is the target cost for the toy alone? Keen, this sounds like a very confidential business information.
Thanks, Billy, for the disclaimer. Yes, indeed. While I'm not able to share with you the actual target cost in this presentation, but once we have received the submission and once the shortlisted submission, we will actually be interested to explore. We will want to sign NDA with the partner or with the vendor, and so as we can share the exact pricing that we're looking at. But without going into the details, Ferrero is an FMCG company, right? So this is a consumer goods. So our price structure will not be too different from the price structure of other retailers, or toy company like Hasbro and Mattel. And there are online resources, reports that will sort of give you a good idea about the percentage of the cost that goes into the toy itself. So I hope that gives you a hint on where we are going to.
Okay, very, very good answer again, Keen. Okay, up next, we have one question about, is Ferrero open to other ideas, including non-luminescence or audio effects? Yeah.
Yes, we are very interested. We're interested in all new ideas, right? So as it's a new material, new technology, we are interested in explore. I understand that within the context of the OIP is more specific towards the audio side, because that's a sort of a focus area that we have this year. But for everyone else with any other idea that you think might be interesting for us to consider, I'm happy to share my contact details. I think an IMDA will be able to share as well. Yeah, and you can find me on LinkedIn, and you can always drop me a note.
Yeah, and they can also post you a question on the OIP forum, on the OIP page,
yes.
at www.openinnovation.sg. And I believe you also answered the one question which says, can we propose multiple product ideas in one proposal? I suppose you welcome different ideas in one proposal?
Yes, we do.
Yes, okay. That's great. So I'm going to click that as answered. Oh, we have, wow, Kane, you're one of our most popular presenters ever. A lot of questions. Okay, let's try to answer this one. It says, we bought many Kinder Surprise, mainly India-made version, and all of them are to be played with an augmented reality, AR mobile game. So this person is asking, is this another strategy of Kinder? I suspect could be a competitor, Kane.
You mentioned that you bought this in Singapore. I'm expecting there is a parallel import, but that's completely fine. Yes, we do have our own app. It's called Magic Kingdom. It's freely available on both iOS and Android. You can download it. This is another way for a child to basically engage with the toy, right? Early on, like we mentioned, multi-layer play experience. So that's the digital app is one way for the parent to extend the playing life of the toy, because we don't obviously want the child to play with it for 5 minutes and then chuck it aside, right? We want that a very short attention span. So through the app itself, we hope to enrich the play experience, because the toy, every toy is able to unlock a new experience within our mobile app. So feel free to download and try out.
Oh, I definitely would like to try that as well. But I guess for the scope of this current challenge, right, we're not going to explore AR, but I guess in future, we'll welcome another challenge from Ferrero that looks at AR, right? So I suppose that could answer the question as well. So for this challenge, it's only the audio side, but in future, I personally welcome an AR challenge from Ferrero. So Kane, let's work together in future.
Thank you.
We have just 2 more questions and we will try to answer them quickly. Next one is, what scale of the solution are we looking at? Will there be support to scale up the solution as needed? Maybe just a quick one, Keen.
Yes. Very good question. As mentioned, our vision is to be able to commercialize the solution, and we understand that technology vendors may be at various stages. In terms of what Ferrero is able to provide, we have both our in-house design and as well as development prototyping team, and also existing manufacturers that is able to do the scale up. for ideas that we eventually pick and select, there are different models that we can explore. It could be a pure licensing play. It could be supporting the supplier to scale up in terms of pilot production before moving on to production. Because yes, we are looking at large volume. Each toy, for each toy that we design, we produce easily 10 million of it every year itself. So, but this is a pathway that we are looking to be for a technology vendor to join us as a co-developer or as a supplier, depending on your business model as well. But we are open to both a licensing model as well as a supplier vendor model.
Okay, so basically, Ferrero is open to exploring the kinds of collaboration you can have with a potential supplier or partner. Okay, that's great.
Yeah, because the key is really to get to a commercialized solution. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, thank you, Kane. Actually, there's one more question, but I would like to invite you to actually type in your answer because we'd like to move on to the next speaker in the interest of time. So thank you very much, Kane, for a very fascinating presentation and for answering all the barrage of questions for your project. Your project getting a lot of interest here. Welcome you to answer the final question by typing it in the chat box. And thank you very much, Kane. We'll see you soon for probably our next Innovation Thursday in future. I'd like to move on right now. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you, Billy. Bye-bye.